I want to show how to do the tuck stitch on the circular knitting machines. This one's an Addi Express with 22 needles, and you get a nice textured effect. With the tuck stitch, your fabric is going to end up shorter and wider because of the way the stitches are being pulled. So you'd have to do a stitch gauge or tension gauge to see what you need to do for your project. But all of the interest is on the wrong side of the fabric. This is the purl side, and it doesn't look as nice on the other side. It just looks like messed up knit stitches. So when you plan your project, plan for the wrong side of the fabric, or the purl side, to be the front side of your project, and that's going to be showing up on the inside of this machine here. On a previous video I showed the slip stitch, and the difference between the slip stitch is that with the slip stitch you can have the floats show up on the right side of the garment if you slip with the yarn in front, or you can have your floats show up on the wrong side. And also the loops of a slip stitch never get knitted. The loops that you hold on the tuck stitch, you'll hold them on the needle for a while and eventually they will get knitted. But on the slip stitches you don't knit the floats. So that's the difference between the two. So I'm going to show you the pattern sequence that I charted up for this design right here. I printed up some graph paper, knitting graph paper, and I decided to do 2 or 3 rows of tuck stitch, and I'll show you on these technique on how you decide how many loops you allow the needle to build up. But I just drew it up as 2 rows. I may go 3 rows, we'll just see. But on a couple of successive rows I would do only even numbered needles, and on the next tuck stitch rows I would do odd, and then I would keep going back and forth, and I ended up with that basket weave look. You can experiment by charting your own tuck stitch pattern on knitting graph paper. But one thing you have to consider is you don't want to tuck for the same needle for too many rows, because you would build up too many loops in the needle. It also would not be good to do 2 needles side by side. You can skip as many needles in between as you want, depending on what kind of design you want to do. So let's get to it. Okay, on this round, you can do this in flat panels. You don't have to do it in rounds, but you'd have to determine how many needles you need to cast on in order to get a complete pattern. But I'm going to start tucking the odd numbered needles all the way around. So the way you do a tuck is, as this needle is coming down, it's going to trap this yarn. That's going to be the next stitch, and it's going to trap it onto the stitch that's already hanging on the needle, and then this would be the next stitch right here that would be dropped off later. But I don't want this stitch to drop off. I want it to tuck. So what I'm going to do is push it back up into the hook of the needle. And sometimes this happens to you accidentally. When the needle rises, that stitch doesn't drop down around those teeth. That's how you get an accidental tuck stitch. But in this case, I want to do it on purpose. So what I'm going to have now is the loop that was already on these teeth pushed back up into the hook of the needle, plus the next stitch is going to be up into the hook. So that's going to give me 2 loops on this needle, and I don't really want more than 3 with this yarn. If you're using a really fat yarn, it's probably not going to be a good idea to use a tuck stitch, because you just can't build up that many loops in the hooks of these needles. So I'm going to go ahead and let the even numbered ones knit normally. And here comes an odd needle there. So I'm going to let it sink down a little. I'm going to pop that stitch up into the hook along with the loop that's already there. And that's an even. Here's an odd. And I'm going to keep going around the whole project doing this. you can pull down on the back of the work to help that loop drop down over those little red teeth. You want it to get trapped. And if you lose place of where you are, you can tell the needles that you've tucked because there's no loop around these little teeth here because the loops are trapped down below that hook. This one has not been tucked, this one has. So I can't read these numbers. That's a number 8, so that's an even. So I'm going to go do all the odd numbered needles this way. I'm going to put them back in the hooks of the needles as they come around. After, you have to wait till they've passed the, this loop has passed the yarn guide, depending on what direction you're going. And when the needle's getting ready to grab that yarn, that's when you do it. See, like this one's fixing to grab the yarn, so that's the next needle that I'm going to tuck. So I'm going to continue around and I'm going to do all the odd numbered needles. Okay, I finished that first tuck stitch round, and I want to do it one more time to where I have 3 loops in the needles. So here's needle number 22, and you can see the 2 loops down here that I previously did not allow to knit. So I'm going to push both of those 2 loops that are on the little red teeth up along with this 3rd loop in there and make sure that they're not going to drop down back around those little teeth. You have to be more careful. The more loops you have to be more careful that they don't drop back around the little teeth. So I'm still on the odd needles, so I'm going to do this all the way around. And you can see how it makes it a lot easier if you pull on the back of the work at the same time as you're pulling those loops up into the hook of the needle. And if the hook drops down too far, you can just lift it up or back up, reverse your handle just a little bit. You want a little space between the hook and those teeth so you can slip those yarns, those loops into the back. So let me finish this round and then we'll do the even numbered needles. I went a little further than I intended, so I'm not back at the beginning again. I got a little carried away. But now I want to allow the odd numbered needles to knit these 3 loops that are on the needle, and I want to tuck the even numbered needles. So the way you do that is you just simply let that loop knit, and it's going to sink down into all 3 of those loops. The only thing you need to make sure of is that all 3 of those loops are hanging on these teeth. Otherwise, they're going to tuck again. So now I want to tuck this needle because it's an even numbered needle. So all I do is start my tuck stitch row on the even needles instead, and I'm going to allow the previously tucked stitches to go ahead and knit. So that's how you achieve that pattern that I created. So I'm letting that one knit and I'm tucking this one. Letting that one knit. See how it's sinking down into all 3 of those loops? So what's going to happen is those 3 loops are going to pop over to the back of the work. And then that's why the tuck stitch looks better on the wrong side. So I'm going to allow that one to knit. And I'm going to tuck this one for the same number of rows that I did before. When I get 3 loops on the even needle numbers, then I'll switch back to the odd numbered needles. So I'm going to allow that one to knit, and then I'm back to the beginning.